Hello. Hello, friends. Shomoita,
Hi.
hello. I hope you're there.
Hello. Yeah.
Kakima, good evening.
Good evening.
Friends, we are here today to release Shomoita Sen's debut collection of poems for the hope of spring. And to do the honors, we have among us Shomoita's mother. Shomoita, I would request you first to introduce Kakima uh, to our audience.
Hi, people. This is my mom. She is now retired. She has been the principal of a higher secondary school for more than uh, 22 years. So she will be launching my book.
I am very glad to launch my daughter's book for the
For the hope of spring.
for the hope of spring, and I wish her all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kakima. Shomita, thank you and congratulations to you on this new release on your debut collection. Now it will be a face-to-face conversation with you. So when I would talk, please keep your microphone in you have to mute it, and when you
Okay.
would talk, then I would mute my microphone. So you can now use the earphone.
Okay. So I think I have been able to share it. I will just check my Facebook once, if that is fine
Sure, sure. That yeah,
by you, Hitanda.
yeah. Please take your time. There is no hurry.
Okay. Yeah, it has been shared. The link has been shared.
Okay.
Hello. So yeah, I'm ready now.
Yeah, you're ready. So, I just shared the link on my timeline. Shomita, it's your day today, and it's a big, big day. So, we have launched your book, we have released your book. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling very happy. Um, and I think after the conversation we have had in the afternoon, I think I'm elated now. Um, the kind so some of my friends have received the book already, and after hearing what Sanjeev Sethi sir had to say, I'm really happy. I'm looking forward to um, reaching out to more readers and to getting to know how they feel about it. It has been a long journey, in the sense that when I started writing the poems, I don't think I thought that I will publish them within a year's time, but it somehow happened, and thanks a lot for that. Preeti sir, I can't see
Shomita,
you.
I would like to know, like, and I'm sure that many readers, many people from the audience today, they would like to know, like, why did it happen? Why did this book happen? Like, just note my question. Why did this book happen? I'm not asking how it happened.
Okay. So I would say that last year when I was working, um, and also doing, I mean, yeah, so I was working, trying to locate how to go about my PhD and everything. So at that time, um, I would come home and only Sundays I would write. So the feeling after after finishing a poem, no matter how even if it is a drafted version, just a draft of the main thing that finally happened, that feeling sort of calmed me, and writing became a cathartic kind of a process. So I continued. I mean, I think that's how, that's why it happened. So my end, most of my poems um, are is an exercise in healing. So it has been a cathartic release in a way to write. That's why,
So
it happened.
do you want to say that once you secured some amount of healing within your soul, you continue the process?
Yeah, yeah, I did. And initially I wasn't, of course, conscious about it, but in
Yeah.
time I realized that there is a it's a process in itself where I feel certain way, and then I feel certain way after writing a piece, and
So writing,
the different feeling sort of made me want to
okay.
pursue this even further.
Hmm. So to you, writing, or anything, like be it poetry, prose, personal essays, writing is a sort of healer to you.
I wouldn't really say that. So I will talk to you about three different forms of, I mean, three different genres that I have tried to write in. Poetry has been cathartic in a way. Critical writing,
Hmm.
which is what my PhD is all about,
No, we are
or
not. We
any
are not
research.
like talking about critical writing today.
No, so that's what I'm saying. Only poetry gives me this kind of a. It's a only poetry writing becomes an exercise in healing. I have tried to write essays or even personal essays in a way, and they have
Hmm.
always induced more trauma to me. They would, I mean, my certain memories would come back, and I wouldn't know how to heal out of them. Poetry doesn't do that to me. Poetry is different that way for me, and critical writing is, of
So,
course, very different.
like when you write poems, like, or when you write a poem, doesn't it remind you of your past trauma?
It does, but I think when we write poetry, we do not just discuss a particular episode. We try to see it with some kind of a perspective that prose doesn't allow. Prose is um, Prose is probably cathartic for certain kinds of authors, but certain kinds of writers who know their way out of it. When you're getting into the zone of writing, you're writing a
Hmm.
piece, and then you're also fetching your way out of it. I think poetry,
Hmm.
for me, poetry has. I mean, I found my way out, or my, I mean, escape route in poetry. It's like that.
Okay. Okay.
Prose doesn't really work as an escape route for me.
Okay, Shomit, I understand. Uh, as the cover page suggests, I think readers who have bought the book, who have received the book, like by now, they all know that the title of the book is For the Hope of Spring, and the subtitle is Hybrid Poems. Shomoita, like, why hybrid poems? Why did you choose this particular subtitle?
Okay, so if we Google, we would know that hybrid poems is actually a structure of writing. So maybe in a very, if I'm supposed to define what hybrid poems are, then it would be mixing of two genres, or mixing of two different types of writing. But that is probably just the start of it. However, I chose hybrid poems because the way I intermingle maybe two themes, or not just two forms of writing. So my poetry, then it's prosaic poetry. So that itself, the form is itself hybrid in nature. But also when
Now,
I'm writing about
interrupting
a
interrupting you
sorry,
here,
yeah.
what is
Hmm.
prosaic poetry?
Okay, so yeah, I would have gotten into that. So maybe when your poetic piece is more reads more like a prose, or takes a lot of say for instance our picks up a lot from daily conversations,
Hmm.
which is what I see hybrid poetry, or my kind of hybrid poetry as. then it has some kind of a prosaic nature to it, where you're trying to chisel out poetry or poems out of a prosaic write up,
A prosaic text.
a prosaic text. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, for me, however, the hybridity also pertains some kind of a intermingling of the political and the personal. When I'm writing about something political, I think I would also bring in a bit of my personal, as well as the same goes the other way around. When I'm writing about something very personal, I try to make it in a way so that it has a more um, political aspect to it, like not politics in the sense of just reaching out, I mean, in the political sense of it, but also about bringing in the community where it is felt by more than one person. So that kind of political as well. Also, the contemporary times, when we are writing in Indian English, and we keep on referring to or bringing in, say for instance, Bangla or Hindi in English writing, then even it becomes a linguistic hybridity that way. So yeah, I think I tried to
So
touch upon
your
three aspects of
yeah, yeah,
hybrid.
like I understand. So your poems, or like the way you call it as hybrid poems, they can be called hybrid for several reasons, like for reasons more than one, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
For reasons more than one.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
One being the poems are a bit prosaic, number one. Like there is a deliberate and a conscious combination, mixture of prose and poetry. Number two, there is a union of more than one language, like English, or as you call it, Indian English, and your native tongue, which is Bangla. Like as you say that there is a combination of more than one language. Can you read a poem from your book which judiciously employs this particular technique to be called like no, which enables us to call it a hybrid poem?
Okay. Okay. So I did not plan that I will be reading this out, but since you asked this question,
When you are
I
with
have
me,
typed.
it's all, it's full of surprises because I
Yeah, I
never
like
plan
that.
anything.
Okay. So just give me a minute. Yeah. So I've titled this poem "In My Palms." Uh, Cups of my
Page
palms.
number, page number.
This is page number 45.
Okay.
Cups of my palms, the size of my heart, can seemingly contain a country. The cradled head of an infant, a Bharatnatyam mudra, a school hymn on imaginary burning lamps, my Deepavali diya, a late lunch of dal luchi, a thick hair chunk tied up in a knot, dripping saline water like drops of morning dew and lemon juice, trailing along the ill-torn estuaries of Sundarbans, ghats of Ganges, to the dirt of Yamuna, spotted from a cold metro compartment, pushing through everything nature provides and man harnesses through eternity. Everything except the warmth of your hand. So here, for instance, Bharatnatyam Mudra, Deepavali Diya, Dal Luchi, Sundarbon. These are also Ganges if we
The
pronounce it in as Ganga.
Sundarban is a name of a place, so it has nothing
Yeah,
to do with any language,
yeah, of course.
right?
But also like the way I've written it makes it Sundarbans, but Bengalis would pronounce it as Sundarbon. Or
But even then,
had
they
I
they
just,
would use the same spelling.
maybe they will not use the S in that case.
Oh, Sundarbans.
Yeah, Sundarbans makes it more English in a way.
Okay. So,
Also, I just
as
want
you
to
as you
add,
begin this poem with cups of my palms, the size of my heart can seemingly contain a country. Do you really hold India in your palms?
We don't, but we can.
Like, if I'm not, if I remember you correctly, you told me, like, you requested me, like, to throw some light on contemporary politics. Or you, like, you asked me whether I would mind if your talk involves politics. I won't mind at
Okay.
all.
Yeah.
So do we not only you, do we really carry our country in our hands?
No, maybe not in the literal sense, but
Hmm.
as a representative of certain form of lifestyle, we do. If we,
How?
it's not about say, no. If we are representing the country in a way, then um, I mean, not in the literal sense that we can carry the country in the arm, in our palms, but
No,
if
it's
we are
not
to
possible in the
lead,
literal sense.
then
Everybody understands
yeah.
this. But do we really carry our country in our hands?
No, in the
The
sense, maybe
culture.
just in the sense of this poem, if I am to say that this is a Bharatnatyam mudra, also we put the mehendi. This
Haha.
mehendi is okay. It's Rajasthani in a way.
Hmm.
Bharatnatyam comes from South India. Then
Yeah.
if I am to put a plate of dal luchi in my hand, then I am thinking of my Bengali soul to be fed with
Hmm.
the dal luchi.
Hmm.
Um, Deepavali Diya. Okay, so Deepavali is
Yes.
more of a North Indian festival than a South Indian festival, or we can't Bengalis would consider it to be Kali Pujo more than
Hmm.
Deepavali that way. So that
Hmm.
way, just maybe we
Okay.
do in a sense.
Hmm.
So all of India resides in me. If we are practicing so many things, and then if we are at all to carry that in our palms.
Uh, Shomoita,
Kiriti sir, I can't see you again. Yeah.
before I request you to read a few of your favorite poems from the collection. Uh,
Okay, can I just interrupt you here once? I just wanted to say this. So one of my friends had written this on his Facebook page, talking about the way I try to experiment with form. So this poem is one of my favorite forms. It's a one sentence poem. This entire poem is actually one sentence. So I just wanted to mention that as well.
okay, thank you. What is your friend's name?
He's Rajoshi Das.
Raju Shidash. Is he live now?
He was supposed to. I can't. Yeah, he's here. Message to you.
Okay. I believe he
Yeah,
can hear
he's here.
us.
Yeah,
Okay.
hopefully.
Hi, Rajorshi. This is Kiriti from Delhi. And I got to know certain details of you from your friend, from your bosom friend Shomoita, and she told me that you have declined her request of reviewing the collection since you are her friend. Now, come on, if friends do not review, be it formally or informally, a collection of poems authored by, like, one's friend, this is no justice. So forget about your relationship with Shomoita Sen. Pick up a book. I don't know whether Shomoita has sent you a copy by now, or if not, do get a copy from wherever you are. The book is available on Amazon US. Get a copy, read the book, enjoy the poems, and do write a review for your university magazine. Please, this is my earnest request to you, Rajorshi. Yeah, Shomoita.
Thank you for saying that,
So
but I just hope
yeah,
he takes it
yeah,
in good spirit.
I caught Rajorshi on spot, right? Okay. Uh, do you think, if I quote one of the contemporary Bengali poets from Calcutta, Her name is Promita Bhaumik. She's a leading poet, woman poet, as they say, from Calcutta. Promita, once, Promita said that poetry is essentially confessional. Do you buy her opinion?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
So you believe poetry is essentially confessional. Read a poem,
Uh,
Shamoita, where you have confessed about your love.
Let me try
Smile,
to.
smile. Don't be angry. Don't be nervous. No, you can beat me later, like after we, end this conversation. But now you have to laugh, you have to smile, you have to read a poem where you have confessed about your love.
I'm just, you have taken me
I can't
again.
hear you. I can't hear you. You have to unmute.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello,
Nothing.
hello.
No.
I'm unmuted.
Can you hear? Can you
I'm
hear Shamoita?
not muted.
But I can't hear you, Shamoita.
I can hear you.
Give me a minute, please.
Okay. Hello,
Shamoita, can you hear me now?
hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Am I audible? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, perfectly. Perfectly fine. Sorry for the
Okay. So
inconvenience caused, but I'm not that a tech savvy guy. Yeah, please read the
it's all right.
poem. Yeah, please read the
Okay. So
poem which
sorry, do you want me to read a long poem or a smaller one?
anything which essentially talks about your love.
Okay. Okay. So I have, before I begin the poem, I'll probably just say a few lines about it. So, this poem is again a form poem for viewers who can see me. It's the block paragraph form. Also, when I use this form, I am generally trying to, um, I mean, these kind of poems for me, they portray some kind, they portray how we are stuck in our own mind space. So this poem can be seen as a love poem. I hardly write love poems, and I mean, I should be ashamed because I hardly try to write love poems. But then this is a love poem in a way. Musings from an airplane. I wish I had the intent to write poetry as patiently as I wait for your text all through the day. This is page number 16. And let me tell you, I would have written you long letters inviting you to coffee under the sun with neighborhood kids playing around. But I think I am a bit crazy, and I have made you up in my head. Not the way Plath had Hughes, but the way I write half baked articles and dissertation chapters. You, the cloud in my coffee, slurred, dazed, doped in love, engaged yet enraged at the slightest provocation. Not the way mating animals hoot seeking each other, but the way distant lovers crave redemptive, redemptive companionship. And immediately, I wish to run down the aisle of this airplane into your fingers I have never touched, thinking that we'll make love under a warm setting winter sun, and I shall feather you with ice, cream, and chocolate. But I know, instead of lying on the bed of warm grass, I will leave, listlessly, dispassionately, counting childhood anxieties on my fingertips, and instead of thinking that if I touch you, you'll melt, I know I will rush into believing that certain pieces of intimate information are redundant. And instead of inhaling the dew of your skin, I shall peer into a picture that has your supple flesh, a probable bruise, not out of concern, not out of passion, but out of curiosity, because acquiring knowledge is a pastime, while making love is a sin. And you, the figment of my imagination, know that your material poets thrive on, and also know that poems that talk about childhood anxieties end abruptly.
Wonderful. This is a masterpiece. I must tell you. Uh,
Thank
at page number 65, Shamoita, I see a poem, Last Evening. Can you read it for us, please?
It's not about love, it's about lust, I must say. And
Yeah.
this is not confessional at all. So
Okay.
yeah, I would read this one. Last
Please.
evening, I have titled this as Last Evening. Your lace bra swings on the bedstead like a garland of flowers plucked and placed with patience to decorate our bed. A grassland beneath a sickle moon, the perfect accessory to lovemaking. Suddenly, the running faucet, a sea beside our soft brown sand bed, floods the room, and your seashell bra that has survived many lives, unnourished, unhinged, unplucked, isn't coy anymore.
This is another amazing piece, but I'm curious to know what is a seashell bra.
These are okay. They are some kind of m- I mean the outside of I mean the cups of the bra. Um, they say of the lace bra is again it's a material. Lace is I mean how do I say
Yeah,
uh,
you need not explain what is a lace bra. I just wanted to know what is a seashell bra.
the cups of the bra they are seashell shaped.
Okay.
That's how I
Okay.
imagined it. One of my friends who had
Okay.
read this poem, he said that this gives him the image of a mermaid.
Of a
So
what?
maybe that is of a mermaid because of the seashell
Of a
bras.
mermaid. Okay. 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 So you already have a query from one of your readers, right?
Oh wow. Acha,
No,
where
so
is that?
you
How
have
do
a
I get
query
it?
from one of your readers who who shared his or her thought about the seashell bra.
No, so I sent this to a friend when I was writing when I was trying to compose this
Okay.
poem.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
That
Okay.
time when I was sharing poetry with my friends.
Okay. So, you have this propensity of writing a lot about your mom and dad,
Yeah.
of about your ma, like capital M with followed by double A and Baba.
Yeah.
How much space do they occupy in your mind?
Um. So this book is dedicated to
To your
Baba,
father?
and since
Mhm.
yeah, to my father. Since you asked, I don't know. My eyes have already started tearing. Uh, okay. So
He has taught you
uh,
how to title a poem.
yeah, we used to sit and title poems together. This was in
Yes.
college when I just started writing, and he would come up with amazing titles. Um, in the sense, like he would come up with abstract titles as well, but that would fit
Mhm.
just perfect with the with the poem, and I have not been able to title my poems like that ever.
Mhm.
So yeah, that is also there. I think my father was an artist at heart. He was a businessman, but he was an artist at heart, and so these things had come when we would spend time. He was
Mhm.
more of a playmate to me, and my mom was. Mom has always been the figure that who had taught me how to, you know, form your career path, how to have an aim in life. She has taught
Mhm.
me how it is important to have an aim in life. But Baba would just help me live through life, to deal with life on a daily
As it
basis,
comes.
maybe
Yes.
as it
As
comes.
it comes.
And probably I have learned patience from him, if I
Mhm.
at all have any patience. Then the
So
least
you
that I
have
have,
learned
that is
patience
from
from
him,
dad or ma?
from my father,
From
from
your
Baba.
father. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you consider
So
yourself a patient writer?
patient writer, if you say so, then maybe I'll have to think of myself as a patient writer first to evaluate that. Yeah, I do get back to old pieces and try to rework on them. So that
Mhm.
way, I am a patient writer, maybe. But then sometimes this used to happen a lot during the lockdown when I started um, writing and then sending pieces everywhere. So I was
Mhm.
one. I would be very impatient. How do we not get to hear? When do we get to hear and stuff like that? So that way I become very impatient. So I don't know how whether I should put myself as a patient.
But
I mean, consider
I
myself
can
as a
tell the
patient.
world how patient a writer you are. You waited for somebody's blurb for more than 2 months. Can anyone imagine that? Like without result, of course. Your patience didn't fetch any result at all. Anyway, we're not here to criticize anybody. You approached someone, you approached a famous writer to write a blurb for your book, and the person kept you waiting for more than 2 months without finally responding to your request. Although the author initially, promised you that uh, the person would write the blurb for you or for your book.
Yeah, yeah.
So you are undoubtedly a patient writer in the first place, Shamohita. Uh,
Thank you.
you're most welcome. You know, when we release books written by us, when I say us, I mean a book written by me or a book authored by uh, your publisher, the head of the publishing press, Hava called Bitan. We don't use author photographs.
Acha, okay.
The reason being, you know, we are writers in the first place, followed by booksellers. Like we are authors as well as booksellers, or as they say, publishers. Suppose a buyer drops by and picks a book, and he or she looks at the back cover. The moment the buyer spots that, come on, it's the bookseller's book, there is a typical, or like you can say, a typical smile on the buyer's face, which made us decide that we won't ever use a photograph either on the back cover of the book or inside the book. So it's a deliberate decision that we took, both Bitan and I. But I talked about this particular context because there was a lot of hype around the photograph that we used on the back cover of your book.
Mhm. Oh,
Yeah, Shomita, this
in
is
the
your
sense,
first book. Like this book, whatever be the outcome. Like I don't know how much reviews you would get eventually. how much of critical acclaim the book will be able to fetch you, but this particular book will always remain very close, extremely close to your heart. No doubt about it. And one day you will recollect, you know, uh, recollect all the words that your friends, your publisher told you about using this particular photograph. Shomita, since this is your first book, uh, how much tantrum did you throw to your publisher, and how much tantrum did your publishers throw at you?
So,
These are very
can
secret talks, I know, but I think these things uh, should be aired for a better understanding of a publisher and author relationship.
right. I don't think there were any tantrums thrown, except for the fact that you people also had to wait a long, long time. Oh my God. Let me just breathe for a while thinking of that long wait. Yeah, so that for sure uh, was something that you had to bear because of me. Had I chosen,
Not
had I
to,
spoken to
not to,
more
yeah.
mention, yeah, okay. So the thing is, had I spoken to more people in the poetry circle, then I would have had probably more options of getting the blurb. But I stuck to people, and I think it's fine, I guess. But yeah, the long wait for you must have been
No,
really distressful, and
that was
for
not
me to,
traumatic to us, Shamoita. Like, let me clear this
yeah, yeah.
air.
So
That was not traumatic to
yeah,
us, and
no,
and we won't
I
call
just
it.
think that no, I think I have thrown that tantrum in asking the answer to wait for me. That's what I'm saying. But what else? I think I missed calls and everything. What
You, do
other
you know,
kind of
like,
tantrum I must
why
have
we
thrown? I
listen
was
to your,
thinking.
like, why we listen to your words? The only reason being, as publisher, we care for all authors we publish or we have published. Like, it's a mutual, there is enough room for mutual respect. If an author does not respect his or her publisher, or if the publisher does not respect their authors, like, a good book will never appear. A good book will never happen in the market. So establishing
That's true.
a sound, a healthy relationship is very important for any author, for any publisher. Now, about editing the poems, like, and I'm coming to the domain where I'm very a domain I'm very comfortable with. Do you think, like, do you believe editing is important for poetry?
Absolutely. First draft, if you submit and get your first draft published, then there, I shouldn't even finish that sentence.
And how much wise do you think to like it is to depend on an editor who is not the author? Like, I mean to ask, to depend on somebody else as the editor of, like, of a book, or of a book
Uh,
of
I think
poems.
I think there are pros and cons to getting your work edited by somebody else, be it poetry, be it any other form of literary writing, or even critical writing. I think um, the perspective with which the editor will look at your work is important, but it
Mhm,
is also important that they preserve the idea behind the work, and it doesn't get diluted in the process of getting it edited. So that's
mhm.
there. But um, I remember the first conversation we had um, about a poem, and the entire journey and you had also posted about that, where the number of edits that we had spoken of and the
Yeah,
number
yeah.
of
That we
drafts
did
that had,
actually.
yeah. So doing that for each piece is also equally difficult, I guess. I have finally published 47 pieces in this collection. And had we worked with all the poems like that, I think all three of us,
We could have
Bitanga,
never
you as
finished off
well
this
as
book.
I, we would have gotten mad. Yeah. So that's also
Right,
there.
Shomita, like I would request you to read two of your most favorite poems from this book.
Okay. I think I would read three since you had
Three?
asked me
Okay, sure.
previously. So I will begin with a cheerful one. It's
Mm-hmm.
about my mom, and since you had already mentioned my love for my
Please
love
give me the page, yeah,
for
page number.
writing about Ma and Baba. So this is page number 53. This is the poem that we had worked together long
Yes,
back.
yeah. Hmm.
And already this was already a published piece
Yes,
in Hibiscus. Ma,
yeah, it's Ma.
53 page number. While
Hmm.
shouting out her goodbyes, Ma cautions the maid. It's going to rain tomorrow. I wonder if Ma keeps clouds in her achol. I have my share of discontent. Her constant nagging triggers my anxiety. But I tell you, don't underestimate her concerns. In their achol, mothers carry love, spices, safety pins, warmth, and raindrops. And no, not all raindrops are muffled sobs.
Wonderful.
Okay.
The next one.
Um, yeah, so this is page number 44. Uh, this is after a lot of editing that I have finally decided on this title. And I think
Hmm.
this is important in the sense that it talks about something that people hardly speaks of. That is maybe postpartum depression.
Yeah,
Um,
post-delivery depression.
yeah, post-delivery depression. Also, this has a few of the things that weren't you talking about confessional poetry? So a
Yeah.
portion of this is actually true to myself as well, just a portion,
Hmm.
not the entire. Um, where I have done certain of these things or I have felt this way. So I would read this poem. And also, this is a form poetry. It's a one sentence poetry. It's this long. Yeah. So this is the
Yeah,
one.
it's a sing.
It's
Yeah,
this.
it's a single sentence poetry.
It's a single sentence poetry again.
Yes.
Okay. Postpartum. The sky breaking into ashen rain falls onto the lap of a mother whose thighs flap open like a head post an episode of traumatic release. The kind of mad, no poetry anthology or a Bollywood showcases. The kind where you begin by tearing off your hair first, then the wallpaper, shamelessly baring your teeth, shattering your phone screen, begging them to listen to untold feelings, one leading to another, like a staircase, unfolding itself in a dreamscape, where the more you travel, the less you know yourself.
It's a wonderful. Yeah, wonderful. And the third
And
poem would be.
third poem is again, I have chosen this because I think this is an important poem, and in the sense that it talks about it talks about domestic violence.
Okay. Page number.
This is page number 1818. Women.
o- Okay.
I've titled this as Women. I'm just reading it. Some days my tongue is a knot, on another my hair. Hair knots are easy to hold, while dragging her from one room to the other. The husband, an enraged ball of purple haze, unwilling to think straight. Some days I leave my bed warm, dripping with my child's laughter. On another, it's a piece of wood I must renounce. The difference between love and violence is a distance from survivors huddling in snow to the hovering rescue helicopter whose random selection leaves a window too tiny for hope.
How close is women to you or to your heart? Have you
I have,
witnessed domestic violence?
yeah, I have. In the sense, I have not witnessed it, but I have heard of it.
Okay, okay,
I would stop at that.
okay. Like
I know
nothing, nothing.
it's quite common, but it's not again spoken much about until unless some kind of a sometime some kind of a like culmination to the marriage happens,
Hmm.
if it is marriage at all. But then domestic violence doesn't always have to be between the two partners. It can also pertain to violence on children. So
Hmm.
that is also a kind of domestic violence.
Okay.
I haven't read a single piece about my father. uh, if you allow me another, should I?
Go ahead, go ahead.
But then this is also just not about my father. This is not so much about my father as it is about how traumatic episodes, grief, or anything moves into the mind space, stays within us, and suddenly surfaces in our dreams. And maybe this is just about grief or about losing someone close, but this is
Hmm.
also just about watching a dream and you are confused what to make of it. um I have titled it "You in My Dreams." And okay, sorry, before I begin the reading, I would just want to mention, since I had been thinking of my father a lot these days, and as you know, I have lost him 3 years back. um, since the book was dedicated, a lot many poems are about him, or at least refers to him. So I had started dreaming of him again. The last 2 days I saw him in my dream, so I thought that I would read this piece. And sometimes I don't understand how I am seeing him. The face I recollect, but not everything else that is happening around. So yeah. Okay, I
Shomita,
now
just a
read
piece
the
of
poem.
advice. Just a piece of advice. When you read a poem from your book or from any book, like you are reading a poem by another poet, but from a
Hmm.
collection of poems, but from a book, please refer the page number.
Yeah, I will. Okay, right.
Like when you like when you sign on a piece of paper, or as they say on the dotted lines, you have to mention the date of signature. Without date, a signature is considered null and void. Similarly,
Hmm.
when you are reading a poem from a book, from a collection, or from any anthology, please quote the page number.
Okay, so this is "You in My Dreams," page number 67.
Okay.
In my dream, you embrace me from behind, like all lovers do. We are so close that your hand on my bosom is mine, shielding my chest from an unknown sea of people. I turn to look at your face, pale against the background of bed sheets, closely resembling the one I have admired since birth. In my sleep, I often meet this face, wearing a motley of bodies, shedding each, like snakeskin, every dream.
Wonderful. So my last question to you, Shamoita, like we are almost like we are close to 50 minutes live. So my last question would be, what are your advices, or what would you advise the aspiring poets who want to get published?
Um, yeah, I think one should keep writing. They should just never give up hope on getting rejected by publishers or journals. That's one thing for sure. Secondly, this I think has happened, generally happens to many people. I have heard this from my friends as well as it has happened to me. So it's about looking for validation outside. We generally end up looking for validation, external validations, where we end up thinking, why is this person not liking my poem, or why has this person liked my previous poem and not this poem. So any form of validation will only make you feel upset about your good work. Believe in your own work and continue writing. Keep talking on your old feelings as well. Some of them, certain changes will make it really good. These are the two main things that I think uh, I would want to share with people who are interested in pursuing writing.
Yes, Shomita, with this, we come to the end of this live chat on Facebook. Thank you for being with us, and I would again request all viewers, those who have not bought Shomita's book yet, please grab a copy. The book is available everywhere. It is available at the publisher's website, which is www.hawakal.com, and also at Amazon India. The book is available internationally across all portals of Amazon. So I would request you to grab a copy, read the book, and share your thoughts. There is enough space, there is enough room for sharing your reviews of the book. Do review the book and bless our author with your unconditional love. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for such a warm note at the end.